Evolution, it is a mystery. It's just that you choose to deny it. And the world is spherical. It's not flat, even if you say it is. The sun is 93 million miles away. Who knew? Who knew?
Hello, welcome. So, I know you're thinking, where's Genesis, Andy? Well, we're not going to do any Genesis for the next couple of weeks. What I'm going to do is I am going to do a recap on what has happened so far. So, a quick rundown of Genesis from the beginning. So, in the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth and all that BS, didn't actually happen, but never mind. We'll go with the creation story from off of the Old Testament and the Bible first. Read them in Hebrew because it was written by Jewish people. And then the Christians decided, know what we'll do? We'll take that God and we'll make it our God. But our God will be better than that God because he just is. Anyway, so God created the heavens and the earth. And he put in all the little fishies and all the little animals. And this is the bit about the creation story, which is nonsense. There were wild animals and there were domesticated animals. There were clean animals and there were dirty animals. Animals are clean if they can be, like all creatures. They don't tend to want to be dirty unless it's for a disguise. So that's a load of shit. Basically what was happening here was the men from off of the Bible writing were just saying what they saw. No experience. Again, when you look at the way they called the sun, the big light or main light, and then the moon was the lesser light. Well, the problem with, again, this comes back to people who believe in flat earth, is you can sometimes see the sun during the daytime. Sorry, you can definitely see the sun during the daytime and it's light, but you can sometimes see the moon during the daytime as well, and that is because of how it is lit. It is not a light. It's reflective. That's what it does. It reflects quite a lot of its light, and therefore we can see it 238,000 miles away from a sun which is approximately 93 million miles away. But there you go. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so that happens and all the creatures and all that are made, and then God creates man in his own image, of course, because why wouldn't it be? And he was Adam. And then he thought, you know what? Adam needs some company because he must be alone now on his own. So he created Eve. He took one of his ribs, sounds pretty painful to me, and created her out of that. So she was made of man by God. And basically he was Adam's slave. Now, anyway, she got talked to by this serpent, which is a snake. I guess that's why people are called snakes nowadays. Anyway, this snake convinced her to eat from a forbidden tree, the tree of life. Anyway, she shared the fruit with Adam, and then they decided, oh my God, we're naked, we've got no clothes on, we need some clothes, because that's not good. So it's going to go somewhere else, because I'm bored of standing. That's no good. Let's make sure we got some clothes on. And then they hide, or try to hide, from God, because why not? And God decides, why are you hiding from me? It's like, why are you wearing clothes or something? And then he decides to put skin on them because they didn't have skin apparently. Anyway, they then get kicked out of heaven and they go and recreate. And then something about childbirth being painful. So Eve's your problem, ladies. That's where the pain of birth comes from. Genuinely, that's what I see it. But other scholars don't see it that way. I'm going to take the fact that they probably know more about this than me as a given. Anyway, then people go off and they do stuff and God gets pissed. So he decides, nah, screw you lot. You've all got to die because I'm God and I don't like what you've become. We're going to commit genocide. The ultimate genocide. So
he finds his mate Noah, who for some reason in his eyes is righteous. What Noah has to do is he has to go around the world and get all of the animals. First he's got to build a boat out of cedar wood. I think it's cedar wood, no, cypress wood, doesn't matter, some wood. Anyway, he builds this ridiculously big boat which was 50 cubits by 30 cubits and 30 cubits high with 3 floors, and this had to hold all the food for all the animals. Now this is, how big is a cubic? I hear you say, wow, a cubic is approximately 18 inches. So, we're looking at a bloody big vessel here, 75 feet by 50 feet. It's no small matter, but you're not going to get every animal ever born on it, are you? And they went round and they got all the animals and they put it on the boat, and then the world would flood. So for 40 days and 40 nights, the heavens would open with rain, and in the sea there were springs which allowed the sea to come up. Don't know where the water came from, don't know where the water went to, but we do know that the flat earthers would claim that it was Antarctica and the seawall, but we're not really going to listen to them because they're a bunch of idiots who don't actually know what they're talking about. And anyway, then there was the Great Flood, and every known part of the world would be under 15 cubits, so again 22.5 feet of water, so nothing on Earth could survive unless you're a fish, of course. Also, albatross can stay on flight for months on end, but we'll forget about the animals like that. All the animals on there, all I can think is the lion for the buffet look amazing. But anyway, all these animals are now on this ark, and they are off, and then to find out whether there is any dry land, he sends out a raven. Don't know why he would. Anyway, the raven came back, couldn't find any land. This is the thing, okay, if I was out at sea, even just off of Portsmouth Harbour, which isn't the biggest, by the Isle of Wight, if I sent out a raven, it's probably going to think, yeah, I'm not going to fly far, I'm going to come and land back on your boat because it's easier than me going out and finding it. Anyway, Noah gave it a week, and then he decided, you know what, it's time to send a dove out. Obviously a raven was no good, so I sent a dove out, and a dove flew out and he came back. Still nowhere to sit. Gave it another week, and then it went out, and then it came back with an olive branch. Now, if we're looking at even the local area, so if we had Mount Ararat, I think it is, which is the one which the ark allegedly landed on, well, that's still a big mountain. It's still about 3,000 feet or more. I'm not sure the exact, without looking up, I'm not sure the exact size of it, but it's big enough. Anyway, anything underwater will be crushed by its weight, because weight has mass. So water has mass weight, and it will crush. That's why the seabed is like it is. And the deeper underwater it is, the more it'll be crushed. There's no way an olive branch would have survived. Anyway, so he brings back this olive tree, and now they're all like, yep, means we'll be able to moor it up again, I suppose, and we'll land, land on a mountain, because why wouldn't you? And then once all the waters have subsided, Noah allows all the animals to get up. By the way, he's 500 years old now. Okay, we haven't even gone into the ages of these ridiculous characters. That was in chapter 5, I believe, where they came up with all these ridiculous ages of people being 900 years old. Who do they think they are? Master Yoda? Guess that's where Lucas got his plans from. Anyway, so all the animals now go off to wherever they came from to repopulate. So, we're going to have plenty of children. It'd be like the royal family, wouldn't it? It'd be all inbred. But there you go. That's where those ears come from. Anyway, so all the animals go off and procreate, and Noah and his family, he had his 3 sons and their wives, and his own wife on there, and they go and repopulate. So certain children went to certain areas, and that's what gives us all the different people nowadays. Funny how some of them are different coloured skins, but we won't go into that. That'll be possibly racist, but there you go. I don't see it as racist. I'm only asking a question how in 6,000 years, if you believe in a creationist story, people's skins can change that much. I accept it might be a bit darker, but they're not going to become, as we would call it, black or brown. And you go towards Asia, they're a little bit more of a yellowy, browny colour. That wouldn't have happened that quickly. Sorry, creation story is rubbish. Anyway, then they go off and repopulate, and that brings us quite nicely up to roughly where we are now, where people are going off to find new lands, and now language is being changed because everyone understood each other. God decided that's not a good idea. Anyway, there you go. There is a quick update off of where Genesis is. I will return with Genesis from chapter 12 in September. Hope you have a good summer. Enjoy yourself. This has been your man, P. See you, pals.